So he talks about thinking on paper and how efficient it is, because if you have a plan of what you're going to do next week, now when Monday morning comes, you're less tempted to sleep in, you're less likely to put things off because because the week before you decided, hey, here's what I got to do throughout the week. This also helps you with your work-life balance, because now you don't have to work all day long and then take work home, because you've decided this task is important. Therefore, it needs to get done on this day, and you've lined out your week. Now, whenever your week starts, you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing, and every minute that's in my work week next week has a job, and I've assigned a job to it. It's kind of like budgeting your money, right? These are resources, your time, your money. Your time is more valuable than your money, because you can't make your time back, but you can make more money back. So when you're planning your week, plan what you're going to do and have every minute throughout the work week have a job. That way you're going to be much more efficient, less likely to put things off. Chapter number 3 is apply the 80-20 rule to everything. The 80-20 rule says that 20% of activities account for 80% of the profits. So out of 10 tasks, 2 of the tasks will contribute 5 to 10 times as much as the value of the other tasks. As a youth pastor, this is so true. You can spend all your time working on cool graphics. You can spend your time looking at a lot of social media of other youth ministries. You can spend a lot of your time doing things that aren't as efficient as, well, what's that 20%? Well, that 20% that is the most important in your job as a youth pastor is building relationships with the students, teaching them God's word faithfully, and maintaining really great relationships with the leaders and the parents. Okay, that's 20% of the job. If you can do that, then that 20% accounts for way more than the rest. So knowing what in your job is the most important and being able to really, really get good at those things. And if you're planning your week in advance, you can say, you know what, that 20% is the most important. So I'm going to give, most of my work week to working on those things. When you think that way, that's how you get really good at your job. Chapter number 4 discusses the consequences, and he says that the most important factor in work is really important for you to know. One of the ways that you can know that most important factor is by long-term thinking. Okay, so if you're thinking, here's what I want to do in 5 years, here's what I want to do in 10 years, now you actually know what the most important thing for you to be doing right now is. If long-term you want to be higher up in your company, well, in the short term, you really need to make sure that you have good relationship with the people around you. You got to be good with people, right? So, but if you long-term just want to do the same job forever, maybe that's not that you shouldn't be as good with people, but maybe that's not as important as if you were trying to move up or whatever.